Dear students, the theme of the lecture is the notion of intercultural communication. Today we are to discuss two questions: cultural relativism and empathy. People living apart from one another develop unique cultures, but elements of different cultures can easily spread from one group of people to another. Culture changes dynamically, and people can teach and learn culture, making it a potentially rapid form of adaptation to changing physical conditions. Anthropologists view culture as not only as product of biological evolution, but as a supplement to it, the main means of human adaptation to the world. Cultural relativism is a purely intellectual attitude. It is the principle that one's beliefs and activities should be interpreted in terms of one's own. It does not inhibit the anthropologist from participating as a professional in his own milieu, that is, environment. On the contrary, it rationalizes that milieu. Relativism is self-critical only in the abstract, nor does it lead to engagement. The search for self-knowledge is reduced to the experience of culture shock. But culture shock is a condition one recovers from. It is not experienced as an authentic redefinition of the personality, but as a testing of its tolerance. The tendency of relativism is to detach the anthropologist from all particular cultures. George Stocking summarized this view with the observation that cultural relativism, which had buttressed the attack against racialism, can be perceived as a sort of neo-racialism justifying the backward techno-economic status of once colonized peoples. Obviously, relativism poses certain problems when from trying merely to understand the world we pass on to taking action in the world. And right decisions are not always easy to find. However, it is always obvious that authoritarians who know the complete answers beforehand will necessarily be intolerant of relativism. They should be, if there is only one truth, and that is theirs. Well, let's pass to the second question: empathy. When we interact with people from other cultures, we are going to be confronted with hundreds of specific behaviors, ideas, and values which are going to seem unusual. There is no way to prepare in advance for all of the differences that you will be asked to deal with. However, what we can do is to work on developing a tool that will help us to be more effective communicators when interacting with people who have cultural patterns that differ from our own. And that tool is empathy. Having empathy means being able to see the world from the other person's perspective. When interacting in an empathetic manner, we begin from an acknowledgement that there are differences from each other in our ways of thinking or acting. But we approach the differences in a cooperative rather than confrontational manner. When developing empathy for those who are different from us, we learn to assign causes or reasons to events the way the other culture does, not the way we do. So when we see actions or behaviors that strike us as odd, we learn to say, What are the rewards for this kind of behavior? Why is this behavior okay in the other culture? If I lived in that person's culture, I would probably do the same thing. The word empathy from Greek means physical affection, partiality, and is commonly defined as feeling or expressing emotion for another. Also, the ability to place yourself in another person's shoes. Since the states of mind, beliefs, and desires of others are intertwined with their emotions, one with empathy for another may often be able to more effectively define another's mode of thought and mood. So empathy is often characterized as the ability to put oneself into another's shoes or walk in another person's shoes. So be tolerant to the culture of other people. That is all for the lecture. Be ready with your seminar questions.